right, check it. I feel like I have a very interesting video for you guys. This is gonna be from two experts.
Dude, it's so freaking aggressive, bro. I'm like laying down, bro. It's crazy. I would consider this not a good daily. In the highway. So yeah, jumping onto the Mt09. This bike, it's all about wheelies. This bike is a wheelie machine. The power is down under. If I think with this bike more so, if you don't, you know, cause look, I'm not even moving the throttle, but it's so choppy. But that's because it's in the most aggressive mode. You can change the mode, as I was saying, that you could change modes in these new bikes, and it allows you to for it to be less choppy. But obviously, if you want the power delivery to be immediate, you want to be in those modes of aggressiveness. But the beauty about these newer generation motorcycles is that you can choose it to be less powerful. That's the difference between all these bikes. They all have different character, you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, every bike, they all have different character. They all have different feels. And at the end of the day, it's what you choose that suits you best. You know, does the look suit you best? Does the power delivery suit you best? Are you one that you're trying to do it for gas mileage, commuting, comfort? All that comes into play on what you want as a motorcycle. You know, try your best not to let people convince you what it is. Do your research and find out what's best suited for you. You know, you got this motorcycle. The neat thing about this is it has a quick shifter, so you don't even have to freaking shift. You literally just accelerate and change the gears. You let go of the gas and then you change the gears, go down. Like, that's the beauty about this bike. And it's a sexy machine. It looks great. You know, versus your Harley, that's just a gorgeous looking bike. It's a big bike. And I'm just mad that I scratched that thing right there. Even I forget that it has a quick shifter and I'm over here shifting. But again, every bike has a different character. It's kind of what you choose it to be. Already, we're jumping from bike to bike, and comfort level for some it's a thing. You know, I have lower back pain whether I'm a lazy guy or unathletic. I do work out. I just have back pain. I've always had it my whole life, and I do now choose bikes via how I feel, like how I'm feeling on the bike, because you get fatigued. Riding isn't easy. If people say that riding is easy, it's not. There's a lot that goes into it, at least even as a starter. Look at that thing. That thing is so cool. That's such a rad bike. Look how comfy he looks. You know, as I get older, I'm choosing bikes that, one, look good, and second, they're comfortable for me. You know, he's a young rider, so for him, the aggressiveness, and I was once young as well, and the aggressiveness, it didn't really matter. Like the stance didn't really matter to me. It was more about speed, delivery, and and coolness. You know, that's the beauty about these bikes, is that once you pass the 300 cc, that's where the power is at. And can you start, the question will always be, can you start on a 600 or higher? Of course you can. He totally took that bump right there. You know, and he's a person that came from a 300, and look at him ride any type of motorcycle that he wants. Why? Because he took those steps to learn. Now, I'm not saying if you jump onto a 600 you can't jump onto you can move. As I keep on saying, any bike, anyone could ride any bike. If you guys currently like the video or like any of my videos, you know, it'd be nice if you throw it a little subscription, and I'll keep on putting more content out. You know, things that are coming up in my head, ideas to help new riders, old riders, or even just to look at certain bikes. Again, in my channel, I have no bias to any motorcycle. I love all bikes, little, big, small. The whole point is just to have a good time. So that'll be nice if you can hit throw in a little sub button. If it's not for me, at least for the Harley, because it's such a beautiful bike. How do you like this one? The seat helps, right? Yeah. Versus remember before? Yeah. See, the one thing about these naked bikes, that they're more upright, I feel like they're lighter in the front end, and they shake a little more. At least for me, they shake a lot. So again, take in consideration the type of bike that you're getting, and choose a bike that is going to give you also stability, you know, good suspension, what's it called, a steering stabilizer is, I think it's a must for most motorcycles, but not all bikes come with that. Can you do without? Of course. I'm riding the bike right now without one. It's all about research. In the end of the day, it's what you like as a motorcycle, what appeals to you. Learn how to ride, have fun with it, be safe. That's all I recommend for anyone. And at the same time, it gets expensive, you know, gear. Don't go into getting a motorcycle and not thinking about, you know, a good helmet or good riding gloves. I got my buddy over here and he's not even wearing gloves, so he left them. Do I think that's a good idea or bad idea? It's all to each his own. To each his own. You know, I'm more for wearing armor, because I care about my skin and how I feel. So I would like, though, if you guys are continuing watching this video to this point, let me know so far, what is your favorite bike? You into the cruisers, super sports, nakeds, Yamaha, Harley?
We've kind of concluded the whole riding and trying out the different stages of the bike or bikes. We've jumped from the 300, the 600, the 900, the 1250. So now my question to you is, which one was your favorite? Not the one that you're gonna buy, just which one so far was the funnest?
So
you were saying,
yeah, I think
currently, which was the funnest bike for you?
the funnest, I'd give it to the R6.
So R6 for you is the funnest?
Yes, because the way how it is and how I ride, it's just speed for me, honestly. but comfort-wise, it's very uncomfortable, very high up. It's heavy compared to what I'm used to. But the Mt09, being a 900 naked bike, first time I ride a naked bike, it's actually really fun. Super nimble, high speeds too, easy to control. You could really lean on it.
So you're a 300 and you're a new rider. What would you advise for new riders, right? So do you think someone that jumps into this bike and then jumping onto any of these other bikes, are they capable of doing it? Or would you tell them, like, would it be cool to jump on these bikes first, or would you recommend for them to go on this, or does that matter?
I always recommend the smartest way. Take the course, learn as much of everything you can, get everything down, know the rules, all that. This bike makes it super easy for that. It's easier to learn. There's a lot of space for errors on this bike. It's 300. You're most likely not going to keep it forever. If, let's say you're starting off with a 600, it's going to be a little bit difficult because I started off on a 300. If I didn't start off on the 300 and hopped on that, I would have been scared shitless. Shitless. It's a lot of power. It's heavy. You could barely touch the floor. I would recommend starting on the 300.
Okay.
Anything.
Okay, so how about this? Out of all of them, which one's the scariest one?
Scariest, the Harley.
Why?
Because of the weight and the way just how...
Wait, what'd you say? The weight?
The weight for me.
So that matters, right?
That matters.
Okay,
it does matter. Because with the weight, you can't turn it as much. Even though you're going from sports bike to Harley, it's harder to control and everything. Scary wise, this one just has the most pull.
Just overall, too much power sometimes. It feels like it's too much power.
Too much power, and the way the body is sitting, you're not ready for that pull.
Well, that's because you're jumping from a sport bike to a cruiser, and then the front pegs are forward, so the forward controls. It's just a weird feeling. You have to get used to it.
You gotta get comfortable with it. But I would pick the Mt09.
So okay, now the ultimate question I wanted to ask you: what if you had to choose to upgrade from this bike, sell this bike, or keep it, whatever you want? Then you choose out of these category, or you can choose another category. It doesn't matter, but kind of the same thing. Which one would you aim for now? Before we started, you said you would choose R6. So now, after riding them all, which one would you still stay with the R6, or would you choose a different version now?
I see myself on the R6.
Still, regardless
of all, I see myself on the R6 realistically, but comfort-wise and
no. So the question is, which one would you pick?
I would pick the R6.
Okay, so R6.
Even though the Mt09 is better.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But why? Is it because of looks for you, or?
The R6 is sexy. The Mt09 even sexier. It's just something about the naked to me.
No, doesn't give you.
Doesn't give it to me.
So it's the sport bike that gives it to you.
Sports bike that gives it to me.
No, I get it. I totally understand. My first bikes were sport bikes, and I think as you get older, I jump into something different like this, or even that thing.
It doesn't hurt to try something new.
I mean, don't get me wrong. In the near future, don't think for a second I won't even get.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking to possibly get a Ducati one day, or something of that sort. The H2. I mean, I want something like that, bro. I just these are more my price range. I guess I'd rather have more bikes than one single bike. I guess that's just my take, right?
Yeah. Project bikes.
So okay, now we started in the beginning. You said R6, and we came back to it, and after trying them all, you're still stuck with the R6.
R6 is my final decision.
I was telling people, I think. So I was telling you guys when I was on the bike that sometimes we aim for the look. I mean, I don't know if you're aiming for the look, but it's the overall. I was saying that the R6 is pretty much, I don't know if that one of the sexiest bikes out there. It really is. It truly is one of the sexiest bikes for its price range. Obviously, you're talking about your Ducatis and stuff like that. Those are sexy bikes. You can't pass those. I mean, those bikes are going to be at a different level, but when it's coming down to something that's more reasonable in price, this is probably one of the sexiest bikes. Most uncomfortable, I think, but very, very sexy. And you see them out there. A lot of people daily them, and we saw one right today. He looks super uncomfortable, but
he was rocking it. He looked badass. So how about this? Give me a rating from 1 to 10 for each bike. Which one's the coolest, right? So, and they all can have the same number if you wanted to, but like we'll start with this one. What's the cool factor on it? 1 to 10, what would you choose?
It's my baby, but if I were realistically, I would say it's 8. Just the way how it's all black, the badge, the everything. I would say 8, 7 on coolness.
Okay, and then I'll say for this one, for me, it looks cool and all that, but it's just not for me. I would give it a solid like 6. That's me, and I don't want him to get offended, but that's just this. It is what it is. All right, so now we jump into the R6 with 1 to 10.
Looks wise, I'd give it a solid 8. Solid 8.
So cool factor 8 for me. R6 looks wise, it's like a solid 9.5. Riding like a 2. I mean, if we're going track, then it's gonna go back up to like an 8, 9. Yeah. It's different. These are like track oriented bikes. So all right, now the Mt09.
See, I love the rims and everything, coolness. I would say 7.
7, okay, and 7. It's okay.
There's something about the naked on the top that
it's the to me the headlight throws it off.
Yeah, it does throw.
If it were to be a different design, then maybe, like maybe more aggressive like this, then it would be badass.
It would.
Yeah. So I get it. I
would say 7.
So he's saying 7 for me. The Mt09. Yeah, I agree. Like 8, 7.5. In looks wise, I mean, there's a lot of things I would like to change on it. It's still a sexy bike regardless, but there's a lot of things I still would want to change on it. All right, but last but not least,
the Harley.
The Harley.
It's a Harley.
It's a Harley. What would you say about Harley?
I just, something about this new modern Harley look, beautiful. I love it. I would say, I'll give it a 9.
9?
From these 4, it's the sexiest to me. But
so he gives the Harley a 9. I agree. I would say a 9.5 for me. The Harley is probably one of the sexiest bikes out of all of them. Now, is everyone gonna agree with us? No. You could think the R6 is a solid 10 versus all of them. It is. That's the beauty of riding motorcycles, is that you can choose whatever you like. Do you have anything you want to say at all? Any advice you want to give someone? Something that you
take the course. Why be a dumbass and not take the course? They teach you everything. Just take the course. It doesn't hurt. Take the course. You'll learn the fundamentals. You'll learn everything. Not everything, but you'll learn the fundamentals. It'll be easier for you. You're less scared. Just take the course. What do you gotta lose? Your life?
That's crazy that he says that, because I'll be honest with you, I never took the course. But that's because at the time when I was riding with a lot of hooligans, and nobody really took the courses. We just all got really high horsepower or high cc bikes, and we just started riding. So, but luckily
I was. Did you say before that though that you knew how to ride? No. How was it the first 6 months on that bike?
Horrible, right? Yeah. I would say it was great because I was young, but it was scary. Most of the time I was saying that it was a great bike. When I jumped on my first 600, awesome bike, but it was horrible because I was always scared. I was always like, I'm gonna crash, or I'm gonna do something stupid. The bike's too powerful. But ultimately I knew myself, and I knew that I was gonna be okay with, being comfortable going slow, and I wasn't listening to other people, and that's probably what kept me safe. That's probably what kept me from getting hurt. Yeah. Is that everyone else was speeding, and I'm over here going slow and smooth, and people be like, oh, you're the slow one, but yeah, look at me. Fast forward, I have multiple bikes. Oh, except for this one, but multiple bikes. And I'm not in the hospital because I took my time. I'm learning how to ride. So yeah, that's what we would say to you guys. All we're gonna say is later. Peace out. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Quick, this is my brother, by the way. You said this one, you thought this bike was that bike, right?
Correct.
So see, as a new person, you can't even tell which bike it is. Some people would consider you a non-motorcycle Because I don't ride motorcycles.
You know, he doesn't ride motorcycles.
You would say that's a sports bike.
I would say this is more. No, yeah, this one's more sportier than that one. Is that right?
Really?
Really?
No. Well, it's not right, but it. I mean, we're just wondering on what you think.
Yeah.
So you would say that
this one looks faster.
So that one looks faster.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right?
That's freaking crazy. See? So that don't be discouraged on going for a 300 when
Down the little R3.
don't doubt the little R3.